Happy Monday. Happy Manifesting Monday. Welcome to Supercharge Manifesting Mondays. We haven't actually languaged the title of this segment in a long time. So I am reminded that when I started doing this, wow, several years ago, probably maybe I'd say 2018. So that's going on 2 + 3, 5, 4 or 5 years now. Started doing this every Monday morning. We coined this Supercharged Manifesting Monday, and I am reminded that's what it is. So welcome to another start of your week. I'm excited for this conversation today. I'm going to be jumping into teacher Tasha mode. Hey, Goddess Jacqueline. Good morning. And talking about Invincible Faith, I'm waiting for you all to join. So, as we do here every Monday morning, we come into this special sacred container and just give each other love. Say our greetings. Good afternoon, Money Family. Hey, Carletta. Good morning, all. Tracy. Yeah, just give our greetings to each other. Let us know that you are here. Hey, Nancy. And then I will jump right into what I have to share with you. I like to see, like, there's a hey Ray, there's an amazing number of you here, and then I know, all right, time to go. So let me know that you're here, share your greetings, type in the chat, and then let's jump right into this conversation about Invincible Faith. So how did I come to be talking about this? I've had these experiences lately. Those of you that are on our email list, and you probably got an email where, every time we're in conversations where we're enrolling people, it's interesting to observe some of the things that come up. And as I've been sharing with everyone, if I've gotten on any of the calls and I hear some of the things that are coming up, I am reminded of myself in that exact position and what it was that I needed to do to totally transform the results that I was getting. And at different times it's been different things, right? But the biggest one that I realize we have to reckon with is this idea of our fears versus the faith that we are willing to have in order to get the results that we're calling in. So I'm going to jump right in, and I have a little example here, an illustration, if you would, that I want to share with you all. So as you know, for a long time, we've been talking about manifesting money, right? And for many people, we kind of start off with our request and our desires of the universe of, I just want to have enough. I want to be in that place where there's always enough. I pay my bills, everything's all good. And I'm kind of I'm good, right? I have enough. And then there's like the next level up from enough. And that would be, hold on, I'm writing, more than enough. And that's kind of like next level manifesting. Okay, yay. I got enough. And now I want to move up to more than enough. I want to be in that place where my bills are paid, everything's good. I have a nice lump sum saved. I have, a decent amount in investments for retirement. I'm on top of my bills and my mortgages, and just like I'm in more than enough mode. And so when most people meet us there, this is what they're asking for. And then we have been teaching, sharing, showing, guiding, mentoring to step into more than enough, asking for more than enough. Because if you ask for enough, you will get it, just enough. But if you ask for more than enough, you'll also get it. And what I have committed to this year for 2023, where I'm taking myself and everyone in this beautiful container in this experience, is I want to introduce the next level, right? And that is, hold on, my math. my math. Not my math, my spelling. We want to go to wealth, right? That is the next level. We want to get out of more than enough. And it's like one of the things my husband says to me all the time. He goes, until I met you, I never thought before about legacy wealth. Like I am from, and his life experience has been, you figure it out, you make enough, then you figure out how to make more than enough. right? But nobody ever really talked about you're entitled to wealth. You're entitled to creating so much wealth in this lifetime that you leave a legacy of, 4 generations to come. And so I want to have conversations now where we start talking and stepping into wealth. But what does that have to do with faith? The conversation we're all here to have this morning. So this is the way it looks for me, right? I'm going to write this one really fast. And I'm going to tell you a couple of my stories about this. So when you are seeking just enough money, you really are coming from fear, right? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay the bills. I don't know if there's gonna be enough. I really, please help me just get enough. A lot of fear energy in that request for enough. When you go into asking for more than enough, you really have to step into faith, right? And when you want to talk about creating wealth, this is where I believe you have to step into mastery of invincible faith. And so, what is the difference? What does that look like? I remember being here, sitting on the kitchen floor, crying every single day, going, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay these bills this month? How am I going to make do with the child support and, the little I'm getting in alimony, which is going to run out, and I don't have a job, and oh my gosh. And it was all fear. I was making my request to God, universe, source for enough money from fear. And then I started to say, wait a second, just enough isn't even enough. I want to step into asking for more than enough. And I needed to increase my level of faith. What did that look like? I had to do some things that were purely based on faith. It was a total opposite of the fear that I had had. Here in this place, it didn't mean that I even had the money to do the things that I was doing. It meant I had to do them in faith. And that's where I see a lot of people, wanting to create more money, more than enough money, and just starting to learn how to have some more faith. In the Bible, it says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed. The other thing that I want to say is that faith, thank you, Lori Hunter, if you're watching, I will never forget the day you typed this on one of these Facebook Lives. It has stuck with me my entire life since then. And it was that faith is a verb. It's actually an action that we take. It's not a thing that we think. It's not even a thing that we feel. Faith is a verb. It's action oriented. You have to do it. You have to act in faith. And so I learned that when I got to this level, I had to really act on my faith. But now when I want to talk about wealth, because here's the God's honest truth, I have no clue how this gets done. For me personally, none, zero. I mean, yes, I have ideas of things that I can do, and it can make a decent amount of money. But the kind of wealth that has been placed in my spirit, the things that are in my logical mind can't add up to the kind of wealth that I'm thinking of. So in order for me to say yes to this, I'm going to have to learn how to have invincible faith. And so I want to talk to you this morning about having invincible faith and what that looks like. Invincible faith is not the absence of fear. So that's the first thing. It doesn't mean that I'm not afraid, that we're never afraid when we have invincible faith. It means that in spite of the fear, you're going to act in faith, like crazy faith. Even though you feel afraid, you're still going to act in crazy faith. So I want to just remind you of some of the affirmations that happen when you are at this level of faith. You start thinking, all things are possible for me, right? With faith, all things become possible. Not some things, all things. That kind of wealth becomes possible for us with invincible faith. All things are possible. I live in an abundant universe. When I have invincible faith, I have to tell myself, I don't know how it's going to happen. No clue. Don't know when, where, why, how. None of it. All I can tell you is my faith in the abundance of the universe. I just have to go down to the ocean and look at the water. as far as my eyes can see in every direction. And that's not even all the water that exists on the planet Earth. And there's an abundance of everything. So I know I live in an abundant universe, and money, wealth, currency exists in abundance. We can all have gazillions and there'll still be enough. And if it's not created, it will be created. So I have the faith that I can and will have the level of wealth that I desire. How about you? What is your level of faith around the type of financial reality that you desire for yourself? Here's another thing that pops up for me. I came here to prosper beyond my wildest dreams. I came into this life experience to prosper beyond my wildest dreams. I know that that is when I'm in true faith, I have to hold on to these truths. I came here to, why am I here? Did not come to suffer. I came here, the Bible, for those of you that read the Bible, it says the plan is to prosper you, right? I came here to prosper and to have my wildest dreams come true. And for me, my wildest dreams is aligned to wealth. What about you? But what is the level of faith that you have for that? And so I'm going to share with you 3 ways. If you're here this morning and you're like, you know what, Tasha, I really need to step up my faith game. I know that I spend a lot of time in fear, or I spend a lot of time in like very weak faith. And I want to have that level of faith that I see people doing great things. I see that they have that invincible faith. And I want to have that too. Number 1, and if you're typing, let's go, let's type it, right? Number 1, I want you to remember the truth, the proof, because sometimes I think people forget. When you are in fear, it's because you have forgotten the truth. You've forgotten the proof. So right now, like, yes or no, have you always, look back over your life for like a snapshot, and have you always been abundantly provided for? Even if it wasn't always at the levels that, at the moment you desired, but haven't all your needs been met? Always. Period. End of story. Haven't all your needs been met? Yes. And there may be moments where it seems scary and like they weren't met, but then it all worked out, didn't it? It always does. That is the proof to you. Do you have evidence, or do you have any proof that, whether it's big or small, of how abundantly blessed you are and that everything is working out for you? Do you have even the tiniest bit of proof that that is true? The fact that you're here in this conversation is your greatest evidence, because I tell people, you will never be attracted to something that is not in alignment with what is the truth for you. Like, people talk about things sometimes and it blows my mind. Like, I've never even thought about that because it's not in alignment with me. That's why I never thought about it. That's why I'm not in those conversations. That's why I get allergic to them. They feel weird, right? So is that the truth? Gia says yes and yes. You have evidence, you have proof, whether it's big or small, of how abundantly blessed you are. So if you want to grow your faith, you've got to start remembering the truth. You got to hang tight to the truth for you. Number 2, persevere. Me personally, when it comes to, realizing that I needed to grow my faith, I got into a no matter what attitude. Like, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know who, I don't know if the clouds are going to part and finances is going to fall from the sky. I don't know how it's going to happen, right? And I don't care what's happening in the moment. I have a no matter what attitude. I told everyone on my team recently, we are burning the ships. Like, that's it. There is no going back. Ships burned. Like, that is the attitude you have to have when you embody this level of faith. There is no plan B. None. It's this or nothing else, right? So you got to be willing to persevere. One of the things that I teach in our programs is that you have to die to the appearances. Like, it does not mean that I don't open up. This weekend, I opened up my credit card statement. I was telling my husband I have my bills scheduled on like auto pay. And I was like, I know that they're being paid, but one thing I haven't done is check this credit card in a while. I don't think I used it. I use it very much, but I haven't checked the balance. And I'm thinking it shouldn't be that much. I opened it and it was several $1,000 just sitting there waiting for me. Denise, do not jump in the comments. Waiting unpaid for me to pay, right? And so I was like, in that moment, I remember in the past how I would go into panic and oh my God, all this stuff. And I was like, I've taught myself how to die to the appearances. It's like if something no longer exists, we call that death. It no longer exists. It's like you don't give it the like you're alive energy. It is not real. It's not. That money that's sitting there is because of things I thought in the past. Even the thing about me telling my husband, oh, let me go check because I wonder what it is. The fear, I'm worrying. That thought led to the balance, right? That's just the way it works. So die to the appearances, persevere. Number 3, and this is a verse from Hebrews 3, verse 13, and I want to read it so I make sure I have it. It says, encourage one another daily, as long as it's called today, so that none of you may be hardened, or I put in parentheses, in other words, fall prey by sins or deceitful ways. Encourage one another daily, as long as it's called today, so that none of you may be hardened or fall prey by sins. Another word for sins for me, fall prey to your fears. Fall prey to your fears or deceitful ways. And I know that one of the secrets to growing my faith is staying in this environment, this container where every single day there's somebody posting evidence. There's somebody talking about what they manifested. We're in an up-level conversation about all things wealth. And if you even want to say money, like we're in this place, in this environment, right? In our community where we support and encourage each other's dreams, our financial desires. And yeah, you need that. You want to grow your faith, you cannot stay around people who are fear mongers. You can't. It's like at some point something is going to give. I promise you, somebody's going to win that battle, and it ain't going to be them. In my case, it is not going to be like I'm winning this battle for myself. So you've got to make some decisions about what is the environment you want to be in and what is the level of faith you want to choose to have. I love it. Lori says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, love, and a sound mind. Right. So, yeah, that's the other thing, is to start looking at who do you have around you every day that will encourage this new level of faith that you're choosing, this invincible faith. And I want to share a couple of stories with you, and I'm going to go through them really quickly about in my life how I've, just in the last 10 years, really taken some acts of faith. I remember times when I had a bank balance of $20. In fact, I remember when I would open the mailbox every single day and there'd be overdraft notices. Like, it's bad when you're getting an overdraft notice for not paying your overdraft fee, right? That's how negative you are. You're getting overdraft additional fees because not only did you not have the balance, you didn't pay the last overdraft fees. That's how bad it was. And I remember, as bad as that was, I remember taking my bank statements and marking out the number that was there. So let's say it was $20, and I was willing to just have the faith that one day soon I was going to look at it and it was going to say 2,000. And I shared this with someone yesterday who asked me for some support. And I remember, I was like, wow, I remember doing that. It seemed so crazy at the time, but I was willing to have the faith that I was going to look at that bank balance very soon in the future. And I even dated it. Maybe it was 60 days from the date, but I dated it in faith that I was going to look and it was going to be that number that I wrote. I didn't write 200,000. I didn't write 2 million. Why? I didn't have the level of faith for that at that time. I did not. I've gone on to write, those of you that watched the Money Manifesting Party, I wrote last year that I was going to get an unexpected $50,000, and I did. I'm at that level of faith today, but back then I wasn't, right? So I went from seeing it say $20 and write 2,000. That was a huge leap for me, and you grow in your faith, but you have to be committed to that. I remember going into the Audi dealership when I drove a Honda Civic, what was that? Oh my gosh, the SUV. I drove a Honda CRV at the time. My payment was $265. I had no business going into anybody's luxury car dealership. I walked in without a checkbook, a credit card. I didn't even bring my license. I was so like, watch, this is not the car I'm buying. I walked in with only my cell phone. And when they told me the payments was going to be nearly, I think, $700, my payment that I was barely making at that time was $265. And I walked out, I was like, I can pay that first payment. I don't know where the rest of it is going to come from, but I'm going to be so faithful. I'm going to set this up on auto pay. That's a level of faith I have, right? I'm not telling you to go act irresponsibly financially. I'm telling you that's the level of faith I had. And I drove that car out of that parking lot with none of those things, no license, no check, no nothing, right? But my faith was rewarded, not only to get the car, but to make all the payments from there on. Another thing was the first time I had a high level mentor tell me to coach with him was going to be $40,000. I nearly threw up. I can still feel the remnants of the sickness in my $40,000. I was like, I mean, at this point, I don't even know if I had spent 5,000 might have been the most I had ever spent on a coach at that point. That's a massive leap to go from 5,000 to $40,000. What did I say? Do you have a payment plan? Because my faith says this is going to get paid every single month that it's due. That is what faith looks like. You have to leap. You have to act. You have to do something, right? Faith is not something you sit and go, I am so faithful. I am so faithful. My faith. Yeah, you know, faith without works is dead. That's the instructions we got, right? We got to take some action here. So oh my gosh, my list over here is like forever. Another time I said, okay, we made this much in our business in the entire year. Next time, I want to make 4 times that annual income in 1 month. I don't want to double my income for the next year. I want to make the whole amount we made in 1 year in 1 month. I just want to prove to myself that my faith can create that kind of results. And sure enough, it did. Right? That's what I'm talking about when I say, where are you with your faith with regards to creating the wealth that you desire? My daughter wanted to go to a university that was probably $300,000-$400,000. Like it was like buying a house. And she made it very clear, I'm going to do my part to get into that school, and you all need to do your parts. This is me and my ex-husband at the time, right? You need to figure out the finances. I had no clue. At this point, I'm barely recovering from bankruptcy, barely starting to put some money away. My ex-husband is pounding me every day. What is your plan for covering her college? I have no plan. I have faith. That's what I have. I have faith that it is going to be provided for. And she went through her undergrad. It got paid. I have no debt from it because I got a payment plan, and the money showed up every month. I'm reminded of, you know, the people of Israel in the desert. And thank you. I don't know if she's on here this morning, but Tatlin, who sent me this video yesterday that just was like, spoke to my spirit, where they had been getting bread falling from the sky every day and decided, enough bread, we want meat, right? And they're in the desert. There's nothing, right? Nothing in the desert that can count as meat for these millions of people to eat. And it says in the Bible that God shifted the winds, and there were millions of quail that came over, and they had each person like 5 boxes each of quail. And I just think about that, and I'm like, how many times have I like really stepped into, I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know where. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know where. I just know I am I am going to step into faith. Tracy says, I have no plan. I have faith. I have faith. But I don't just sit here and go, da, 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 I have faith. Yeah, I have. No, like I act. I do. Like I say, it's going to get paid, and I'm taking the action to start the process, right? That's how I activate my faith. I could go on and on with the stories. I really, the purpose here is to have you be inspired. And here's the question I want to ask all of you this morning. What is waiting for you to have invincible faith in your life, and especially in your finances and wealth creation? What is waiting for you to have invincible faith? What is the faith action that you are delaying, procrastinating, sitting in fear about taking, that is not going to materialize in the abundance that you are seeking? Because if your faith is weak, here is what I know. We live in an abundant universe. You will absolutely manifest. I am not here to put fear in your heart and go, if you don't have faith, you're never going to manifest. What I can tell you is I look back, and like a statistician, I look back at when I made massive leaps, and every single massive leap was precursored by a massive act of faith. That is what I can tell you in my life. Think about the people that you know. Think about your own massive leaps and ask yourself, what was my faith like at that time? And then that is what and that is what I love all the comments. I am right. What is waiting for you to have a massive act of invincible faith? That's my question for you. Now, can you choose to have this type of faith? That wealth, not money, enough money, not more than enough money, but wealth. Yes or no? Type in the comments. Can you choose to have massive, invincible faith that wealth, and I want you to think about the difference between money or being rich and wealth. Can you have the invincible faith that it's possible for you? Yes or really yes? Yes or no? Type no. You're free to type no, but yes or yes in the comments. I love it. Yes, you can feel the faith and you can feel fear and leap. Absolutely. Doesn't mean I don't have fear. Just right. Does not mean it's the absence of fear. It means I choose faith. I feel fear and I choose faith. I love it. Stephanie says, not yet. I don't feel like I can choose that. Respect to you, Stephanie. That's amazing. She's like, I don't feel like I can choose it right just yet, right? I love it. Yes, 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 Tembi says. And then I want to ask you, would you like to be supported in activating the faith that leads to your wealth? Yes or yes? Would you just like to be supported in activating? The faith is already in you. You came wired with it. Nothing that you need to create results in your life is outside of you. It's all already here. But could you use some support in activating it? Yes or yes? Yes, I know I needed support, right? And for Stephanie who's like, I'm not really there yet. Yeah, I get it. I needed to be supported in activating this level of faith. I didn't necessarily wake up one day and go, I have it now. It's here. I have it, right? So I want to share something that I have created. And for those of you that have been in our community for a long time, for those of you that have been in our community for a long time, this is going to be so exciting for all of you. And you're going to see how committed I am to this. Many of you will remember we always did our 5-day money attraction challenge, right? We loved it. It was amazing. We've done it for so many years and it got us here. But I stand by my commitments and I've committed to wealth. That's where I'm going, and that's where I want to invite you to come along with me. So I have created a 5-day wealth with ease activation experience. You can thank me later. And let me tell you, if you think your faith is here, get ready for this level of faith. So I want to invite you, those of you that are on, you know me, I'm coming, I'm bringing it for 5 whole days. It's going to be next level conversations, next level experiences, and we're going to do activations every single day for 5 days, right? So I want you to go ahead. Some of you are already in, you've already gotten the messages. I want you to type the word wealth. If you have not seen in our emails, seen in our Facebook group, we're having a 5-day wealth with ease activation experience. Type the word wealth. Let me go over here and put it up for you. Type the word wealth in the comments, check your Facebook Messenger and get yourself registered. Just do it. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can also go to wealthwithease.com, or if you don't have Facebook Messenger, wealthwithease.com will also get you registered. And here's what I want you to do. Take care of the registration. And then 3 things you want to do. Number 1, get registered. Whether you type wealth in the comments, check your Facebook Messenger, or you go to the website, wealthwithease.com. Step number 2, you want to make sure you're registered as a VIP. I'm like, how can I say this with love? Make sure you're registered as a VIP. I have made the VIP experience this time $22. We've never done a VIP experience before, never. But I want to see, amongst all of you that are here, amongst all the thousands of people that are going to be attracted to the free thing, come for the free, come for it. But how do you start to activate? I am a VIP. For $22, you get to step into a room with women, my goddesses, as many of them that can be there will be there. So we're going to have like a round table with the goddesses, multi-millionaire women who are experiencing wealth in their life with ease. You, if nothing else, one thing I learned, the greatest business lesson was to sit amongst people who were doing what I wanted to do but didn't understand it or didn't think it was possible for me. Just to sit at their feet was incredibly valuable. So every single one of you that registers, I expect you to also go ahead and make yourself a VIP. For $22, you are a VIP, right? And then you want to check your email, because in your email, in your confirmation email, you are going to get a chance to refer friends. I've really been working with the team on this. How can I thank you even more for referring your friends? So every one of you is going to get your own link to refer the 5-day experience to your friends. And we have crazy prizes, including this time, we have a trip to Hawaii. So go ahead. I want to talk too much about that. Check your email, get your referral link, refer every single person you possibly can. There's a ton of prizes. You accrue points for every action that you take. You accrue points. So you want to do your thing, do all the things, become a VIP, get yourself registered in a reminder sequence, do it all, share your link, because every single one enters you for a chance to win a VIP ticket. We've got journals, we've got pens, we've got a trip to Hawaii, we've got an event with me, like all kinds of amazing things in the referral system this time. All right. So I'm excited for all of you. I want to tell you what to expect during these 5 days. One of the things that most people say when they talk about wealth is, you know what, Tasha, I want to have it right now. It's taken me personally, me, Tasha, 10 years in business to create a business that's generated multi 7 figures. Well, I want in the next very short time to get to 8 figures in 1 year, right? I don't want to take another 10 years. I want in a very short time to get to 8 figures in 1 year. I know you want that too. You want to collapse time. You don't want it to take forever to do this. So we want to have conversations around what are the things that are getting in the way of it happening for us faster. And I have all of my 10-year experiences, all the things that I did wrong, all the things that cost me time and cost me the headache of having to learn. I have it all in my arsenal now to share with you so that you can collapse time. Here's a stat I want you to hear. 2%, only 2% of female entrepreneurs make it to 7 figures in their business. Only 2% out of 100%, only 2%. Well, I declare vocally and energetically in every way that within this community on my watch, we are going to be the #1 millionaire making community for women. Are you in? Like, are you a yes for that? Are you going to be one? Because that's ridiculous to me. We work way too hard as women. We are way too smart. We know there's so much that we're capable of that only 2% of us, what percentage of us want to be at 7 figures? That's how many of you want to be at 7 figures? What's the percentage of that? And what's getting in the way of us experiences? It's not opportunity. It's not. It's not what you're selling. It's not. It's who you are being. That is the thing. It's the deservingness. It's the money traumas. It's the what you're feeding your mind constantly. It's the fear or faith that you live in. Those are the things that are preventing us from being millionaires, not the business stuff. That's what gets me. It's not the business stuff that you think. It's not your funnels and your this. You have to do all those things. But the thing that's stopping you from really stopping you is you. It's the stuff inside of you. So we're going to have wealthy conversations. I'm jumping back over here to comments, right? I want to see, that's right, 7-figure ambition. Yes. So those of you, I am so in, Tasha. Those of you that's right, Lori, that's going to grow. It's going to start in this community. I am claiming like double digits percentage multimillionaires from this community, right? So go ahead, get yourself registered for the 5-day wealth with ease activation. I'll see you all there. It's time for some invincible faith. You deserve to be wealthy. You deserve it, right? Step up your faith to match that level of deservingness. Well, I love you all. Go have a great Monday and a great week. Bye, everyone.